Hey everyone. I think we can all relate to feeling overwhelmed with the constant influx of news and information, right? It's like trying to drink from a fire hose sometimes. Well, we're here to help you sift through all that noise and focus on what really matters. And today, we're diving deep into a topic that's been generating a lot of buzz in the financial world: silver.
Silver, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, it's really caught my eye recently. Specifically, we're looking at this article from February 1st, 2025, titled 2025, Is Silver Set to Outshine Gold in the Precious Metals Market? Gold usually gets all the glory, but this article makes a pretty compelling case that silver could be the real star of the show in 2025.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, gold always seems to steal the spotlight when it comes to precious metals. So what's got people thinking that silver might be ready to, step out from gold's shadow?
Well, some forecasts are suggesting that silver could jump by over 20% in 2025, and that's got a lot of people talking. But, we always say this. We're just here to explore the information, not give financial advice. So let's really dig in and see what's driving this optimism around silver.
Sounds good. Let's get to it.
All right, so maybe the best place to start is to look back a little bit, see how silver's been performing recently.
Makes sense.
In 2024, we saw some pretty solid gains for both gold and silver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Gold had a fantastic year, surging by 27%.
Wow, 27%. That's huge. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure that dominated the headlines.
Absolutely it did. But, silver didn't exactly sit on the sidelines, did it?
Oh, so silver had a good year, too.
It had a very respectable year, posting a 21% increase.
21%. Okay. So while it may not have outpaced gold in terms of percentage gains, that's still a pretty significant upward trend for silver, and I bet a lot of smart investors probably took notice of that.
21% is definitely nothing to sneeze at. It's a really solid number. So who is paying close attention to these trends? Well, the article brings in the analysis of Ole Hansen, head of commodity strategy at Saxo Bank, a respected voice in the field.
Okay, Saxo Bank. Yeah, I've heard of him. What did this Hansen guy have to say about silver's performance in 2024? What did he think was driving it?
Well, it's interesting because Hansen pointed to many of the same global factors that fueled gold's rally as reasons for silver's success in 2024.
Oh, really? Like what kind of factors are we talking about?
Well, think about all the geopolitical tensions happening around the world. The conflicts, the friction between countries, that uncertainty tends to make people nervous, right?
Yeah, for sure. The world can feel pretty unstable sometimes. So in times like that, people look for safer places to put their money, right?
Hmm.
It's kind of like picking a reliable savings account when the stock market's all over the place.
Exactly. And those safe havens, as they're called, they tend to benefit when things get shaky. So silver, being seen as a safe haven asset, got a boost from that same flight to safety that benefited gold.
Okay, that makes sense. So basically in 2024, silver kind of rode the coattails of gold, benefiting from those same global anxieties.
You got it. But here's where silver's story takes an interesting twist. This is where it really starts to differentiate itself from gold. We need to think about silver's role beyond just being a way to store wealth.
Oh, right. I've heard that silver is actually used in a lot of different industries, too.
Exactly. And that's a key part of the silver story. It has this really interesting dual role. It's an investment asset, sure, but it's also a crucial industrial metal used in all sorts of things. And when it comes to those industrial uses, you got to talk about its incredible electrical conductivity.
Electrical conductivity. So silver is a good conductor of electricity.
One of the absolute best, like way up there. Think about how easily electricity flows through wires. Well, silver is exceptional at that.
Okay, so it's a really good conductor. But what does that mean in terms of, like, real-world applications?
Well, it means silver is essential for a lot of different industries. The article states that in 2024, industrial applications made up a huge chunk of silver's total demand, 55%.
Wow. More than half of all the silver used went to industrial purposes.
Exactly. And get this, in 2024, industrial demand was actually projected to have exceeded 700 million ounces for the first time ever. That's a pretty significant milestone.
It really shows how much silver industries rely on. I'm curious, what sectors are using all this silver?
Good question. The article points to some key areas, electronics, for one. Just think about all the silver components in our smartphones, computers, all those gadgets we use every day.
Yeah, it's crazy to think how many devices we rely on that probably use silver.
And increasingly, it's playing a big role in the renewable energy sector, which is booming right now.
Oh, interesting. Renewable energy. I wouldn't have thought of that. How is silver used in renewable energy?
Think about solar panels, for example. Silver paste is used in those photovoltaic cells that conduct the electricity. And as the world keeps pushing for cleaner energy sources, The demand for solar technology is only going to keep growing.
Right. That makes sense. So more solar panels, more silver needed. It's like a domino effect.
Right, and the article really highlights the contribution of electronics and renewable energy to that surge in industrial demand, suggesting it's more than just a temporary thing. It's a real ongoing trend driven by these huge shifts in technology and global priorities.
Okay, this is all really interesting. So we've got this picture of silver performing well in 2024, influenced by all those global economic uncertainties and this really significant and growing industrial demand.
Yeah, we've laid some good groundwork here. Now let's turn our attention to the future.
Okay, let's talk about 2025. What's in store for silver? What does the article say?
The article really emphasizes those same geopolitical uncertainties and economic shifts we talked about earlier. The potential for things like tariffs, which can lead to inflation and a weaker dollar. All of that makes safe haven assets like silver more attractive.
Right, because if the dollar weakens, people want to find other things to hold their value. It's a natural response.
Exactly. But for silver specifically, it seems like the energy transition is a really important piece of the puzzle. And not just for 2025, but in the years to come.
Yeah, the transition to cleaner energy seems to be a huge driving force for a lot of things these days. How does that impact silver?
Well, think about all the investments in power grid infrastructure that are happening right now. Silver is really important for that because of its superior conductivity.
So it's needed for the grid too. Okay, so that makes sense.
And of course, there's the increasing adoption of those renewable energy technologies, particularly solar power, which we talked about earlier.
Right, solar panels need silver too. So all of this is pointing to a positive long-term outlook for silver. It's not just about being a safe haven anymore. It's playing a vital role in these crucial industries.
You got it. And when we connect that to the bigger picture, with all these global efforts to tackle climate change, that demand for silver is likely to keep going up. So all this leads to the question, what kind of price are we actually looking at for silver in 2025?
Right, get to the numbers. What's the expert predicting?
Okay, so Ole Hansen, the expert from Saxo Bank, is actually pretty optimistic. He thinks that the combination of that sustained investor demand, fueled by all those macroeconomic uncertainties and the strong industrial demand we've been talking about, that could all push his silver prices higher.
So he's bullish on silver,
Hmm.
but does he actually put a number on it?
He does. He gives a potential upside target of $38 per ounce for 2025.
$38. Wow, that would be a significant jump from what it was when the article was published.
Absolutely. It represents a 23% increase, according to the article. But Hansen makes an interesting point here. He says we shouldn't just get fixated on hitting that exact price. The real takeaway is that silver has this unique ability to act as both a hedge against economic uncertainty, kind of like gold, and it has the potential for those rapid price increases because of the strong and growing industrial demand.
Oh, I see. So it's like a double whammy. It's got that safe haven appeal, but also the strong industrial demand backing it up. Interesting.
Exactly. It kind of offers the best of both worlds in a way.
Okay, so let's recap. We've talked about how silver did pretty well in 2024, driven by global economic factors and that surprisingly strong industrial demand.
Right. And looking ahead to 2025, those geopolitical uncertainties are probably going to stick around. And that energy transition, well, that's only gaining momentum. So all that combined is leading experts like Ole Hansen to predict a pretty positive outlook for silver.
It sounds like silver is really coming into its own, moving beyond just being a secondary player in the precious metals market.
Oh, I think you're right. As we wrap up our deep dive into silver's potential in 2025, it's clear that while gold might get most of the attention, silver has its own unique and compelling story. Its recent performance, combined with those vital and expanding industrial applications, makes it a lot more than just an afterthought.
It does make you think. Given silver's crucial role in things like renewable energy and its ability to act as a safety net in times of economic uncertainty, how might all those advancements in technology and those massive global infrastructure projects, the ones planned for the coming years, how might that impact silver's value? Even regardless of its direct price relationship with gold. It's definitely something worth considering as we look to the future.
Food for thought, for sure. All right, that's going to do it for our deep dive into silver. We'll be keeping a close eye on this fascinating metal.
Yeah, this will be interesting to watch. Until next time, everyone.